Just a quick note. If you love coffee, be sure to check out Blackout Coffee Company and Coffee Brand Coffee. Links in the description. Happy Monday, my dear friends. How are we all doing? I hope you had a good weekend. We did here, as usual. We watched a lot of stuff, and I'm so excited to talk about it. But today's a good one. And we are continuing today the vein of talking about Lonesome Dove. There's so many little tentacles of Lonesome Dove, of that story. And today we're talking about one from 2008, Comanche Moon. It's a prequel, and we need to talk about it. Did y'all have a good weekend? Let me know in the comments down below. I actually am interested. Ours went really nicely. Now it's super cold. I've got grocery shopping done, and I've walked half a mile for exercise, and I'm still frozen. But here we are. All right. All right. This is a Western, and again, it is a mini series. I rented it because I didn't know it existed until I started looking at Lonesome Dove stuff. Let's take a look at it. This is a good one. This is a good one. Let's look. Comanche Moon, TV miniseries, 2008, TV 14. Now, yes, it says 2 hours. This is a 3-episode miniseries, and I don't know where they got the 2 hours from, quite honestly. I rented this, and it was exactly 4 hours and 42 minutes long total, but it was 3 episodes. So you do that math, because I'm no good at math. The adventures and love lives of young Texas Rangers Woodrow Call and Augustus McCrae leading up to their retirement to the city of Lonesome Dove. That's kind of what it's about. So it stars Steve Zahn, Ryan Merriman, Keith D. Robinson, and it's funny to me that they don't have the 2 main stars. Steve Zahn plays one of the 2 main characters, yes, but Carl Urban plays the other. And if you scroll down here, looking at the credits, he's at the bottom. All right. Elizabeth Banks is in this as well as Maggie. Val Kilmer has a huge role in this miniseries. So the way they've got this all written up, I don't know what they were thinking. But anyway. So Steve Zahn plays Augustus, and Carl Urban plays Captain Call, and so you can rent it. It's got a high rating, which is nice, but does it deserve it? I really liked this about 75% of the way, right? It starts nicely. It starts really well. You're introduced to the 2 younger characters of Call and McCrae, and Carl Urban does a pretty decent job of portraying Tommy Lee Jones, the young, character as a young person. I mean, he pulls it off pretty well. I was impressed, but I knew Carl Urban is a good actor, right? I was concerned about Steve Zahn playing Woodrow Call. Augustus McCrae, but I shouldn't have been, because the truly best performance by far in this whole miniseries is Steve Zahn. He plays Augustus, or Gus, if you will, to a T. And I would watch numerous miniseries with him as that character. He pulled it off. It's just perfect. And I have to think that he has missed his calling, because he's done so much comedic stuff, but he was great in this Western. He was perfect. You could see you could see the older Gus in this young man. That's all I'm going to tell you. It was fantastic. His role by far was the best. Um, Val Kilmer plays a nutter in this, like a somebody important, but for the most part, like his role is very. He was kind of the negative here because I mean he tried real hard, I guess, but like he played it too crazy, in my opinion. But basically, this is them becoming the Texas Rangers and the things they did in the lead up. Now, it says the lead up to their retirement to the city of Lonesome Dove. There's a few things in this that are miscalculations. For instance, Clara, who you meet, at one point you see her after she's gone and married the horse trader, whatever his name was, and she's lost her son and her two daughters. You can see them in this show, and they're just about the age that they are in Lonesome Dove, which is years later. So there's a time issue, like a time jump issue here that kind of messes it up. And between episode 2 and 3, there's like a 8-year time jump or something like that, and it's a little distracting. It's a little difficult to get there. But other than that, it's a well done story. Elizabeth Banks does a great job as Newt's mother. Of course, if you've seen Lonesome Dove, you know what happens to her and how come Newt ends up with Gus and Woodrow. So you see that coming a mile away. If I had one huge problem with this movie, it just ends abruptly and doesn't, like, it feels like you're, like I was like, is there another episode? Like the way they ended it, it just doesn't have the grace or the goodness that Lonesome Dove had, where it all melded together so well. The break here at the end, when the show's over, just the way they filmed it is a little off-putting. But other than that, this is definitely worth a watch. Again, this is based on a book by the same author of Lonesome Dove, and I can only assume that the book is better. But this was a really fun watch. I enjoyed the 4 hours and 42 minutes I got to spend with characters that I fell in love with watching Lonesome Dove. So if you enjoyed Lonesome Dove, this is definitely worth your time. Just know there's a couple of oddities, like the ages of, like, the time it happens. Like the times that, like, Clara's kids should be much younger when you see them in this than they showed them in the miniseries. Now, maybe in the book they're babies, but I don't think they knew canon when they made this, or somebody missed a step. But that's neither here nor there. That does not take anything away from the fact that the story is well done and fun to watch. I mean, there's a few bits of it that are just kind of like, oh, come on. But I enjoyed it. Had a good time watching it. Love these characters. And you get to meet, you get backstory. This is basically a story about backstory with those characters that you fall in love with in Lonesome Dove. So, yes, I'm positive about this. I would give it maybe 80% because there was a couple things that just bothered me. But overall, well done. There you have it. That's today's review. Have you seen this? Are you going to see it? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to know what you think. Other than that, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go start a fire and sit beside it because I'm old, fat, and really cold. All right. You guys have a great beginning to your week. We'll be back on Wednesday when we are talking about another Western, and then I have a surprise for you on Friday. So, all right. Michael, the microphone, Bob, squeaky chair in the back, and this big, fat, cold nerd. We will see you then.